Minnesota Timberwolves fans, we are live. People are joining up. It is just shooting up right now with the fans joining. What's up, guys? This is the Daily Wolves courtside. You're coming into us live after the Timberwolves. They come out and they beat the Golden State Warriors in Game 3. It was a hard-fought battle to the end. It felt like the 90s, banging back and forth. A low-scoring game, low-scoring affair for the Timberwolves. Golden State didn't even have a three-point shot make in the first half. It felt like things were all out of sorts for the Timberwolves early in the game, but they come out in the second half. I thought Anthony Edwards kind of brought that aggression. He stepped up. What'd you think of the game, Andrew? We'll get into everything. I think even Tripp might join the show later. How you doing, by the way, Andrew?
Good. Pulling double duty. Got to go watch the Lynx preseason home opener. So shout out to the Lynx. They won. Revenge tour for anyone who's interested. Wolves, though, I mean, I'll be honest, I watched the game without sound, so I'm not very influenced from what anyone on ABC was saying, but I mean, it was a rock fight. It was pretty apparent early on that Jimmy Butler, Warriors staff, Kuminga, all of them wanted to slow the pace down, push the ball inside, try and get to the free throw line, try and get guys in foul trouble, and kind of level the playing field that way. I mean, and let's be honest, for the first half, it kind of worked. I mean, I'm looking at it here. Forced 10 turnovers. They ended up drawing 12 fouls on the Wolves in the first half. Then the second half happened, and the Wolves shot 6 of 20 from 3. They bricked a ton of layups in the first half, and once that second half started, the lid kind of came off the basket, and it didn't really matter if the Warriors were trying to slow it down or trying to muscle, fouls in there, or Jimmy doing some tomfoolery, because all of a sudden the Wolves were hitting shots. And if the Wolves hit shots, unfortunately, that's the A+ analysis of this team. They shot 50% from 3 in the second half. They got to the free throw line 15 times. And that is kind of all it took. It's interesting in this series because the Wolves don't really need to do a lot right to win these games. They just need to do enough, and shooting their average percentages is probably enough to win this in 5 or 6 games.
Yeah, I think you see it with the Warriors late too, struggling without Curry to really score when they needed somebody to close the game out. Curry's been phenomenal in the fourth. He was awesome in the Rockets series. He was amazing in Game 7. You see Jimmy Butler doing everything tonight earlier in the game. He was awesome with Jonathan Kuminga. 33 points for Jimmy Butler in this game, 7 assists, 7 rebounds, really doing it all in the beginning, but he just ran out of gas. It started, I thought also Rudy Gobert just was fantastic at the, in the last quarter there, defending Butler. Numerous times I noticed Jimmy missing things. There was a different opportunity where Julius Randle, instead of contesting, he pulled back and it kind of messed Jimmy's layup up and he missed it. All those just different things at the rim. I mean, how many times did Jimmy's shot get affected or somebody else? I thought Rudy Gobert stepped up in that moment there later in the game. Tripp is joining up right now. We'll get him on here a second here. Yeah, I thought he was quiet most of the game, Rudy Gobert, but I thought he was fantastic when it mattered the most. And Chris, he gambled a bit, right? We saw him take Naz out. He put Gobert back in, and you're thinking, is that really the right move, or should we gamble with Naz Reid, even though Naz was in foul trouble early in this game, and he currently was at that point as well, right, Andrew? But he gambled, and looks like the gamble might have paid off because I thought Gobert's minutes were huge to close the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's to your Jimmy Butler point first. I mean, 1 for 7 in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
It just dried up for him, whether it was fatigue, whether it was getting affected by Rudy, whether it was just the defense in general. They finally got Jaden matched up on him a lot in the fourth quarter, and Jaden just, it's weird because they had Jaden chasing Buddy Hield around the first half, and Buddy Hield struggled, and then they put him on Jimmy, and Jimmy struggles. So Jaden might just be the chess piece they have to move. To the Rudy point, I mean, that's just kind of as the game goes on, they were putting so much attention into making him work the entire game, getting him in foul trouble, attacking at him, that when the Warriors just started to feel that fatigue, Rudy was just able to outmuscle everybody, get rebounds, get inside, hit a big, well, let's be honest, he hit 2 big free throws, but the first ever lane violation in a division, semifinals round.
Crazy.
obnoxious that they called a lane violation in the playoffs. But you know, Scott Foster is going to Scott Foster, I guess. But again, just real quick on Rudy Gobert. I mean, he only played 4 minutes in that fourth quarter. He was +6, 1 of 1 from the line, got 2 rebounds. He was great. And it's always interesting with Rudy Gobert because you know the play that he gets the ball thrown to him and he juggles it and kicks it out of bounds to the second row is the one that sticks in your head. But the like just sound defensive play where he like hedges somebody off of a screen and forces them to take a shot never really gets remembered. And this is one of those games where Rudy, I think, was pretty fine for most of the game. Got in foul trouble. Jimmy was going after him, but he held his own. And then when it finally, you know, came to crunch time, Rudy came through and none of it'll show up on the stat sheet. I mean, 2 rebounds doesn't give him justice for the altering of shots. The 4 points doesn't give it justice for how impactful those points were. But that's just Rudy's game.
Yeah, Trip, welcome into the stream. We were just talking about Gobert's game. There's some other players who had big games, Trip, tonight. Anything that stuck out to you in tonight's big win for the Minnesota Timberwolves?
You know, I think ultimately the team just played team ball offensively and defensively, right? I mean, I think from, you know, a defensive perspective, they did what they had to do to win this game. When it got tight, the Timberwolves were able to pull away every opportunity that Golden State had to kind of close the gap. You know, Minnesota seemed to kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know the word, but like kind of take over. Like right when it was, you know, you're thinking, shit, Golden State's up 2. Oh shit, all of a sudden Golden State's winning. Minnesota found a way to get back in and really kind of dominate, even when it was tight, and just really proud.
No, I get you. I think Julius Randle was a player we got to talk about because he was awesome tonight. I thought this might have been Julius Randle's best game in a Wolves uniform. I mean, it's right up there, guys. 24 points, was a +14 for Randle. Not only that, this dude has a triple-double tonight. 12 assists, 10 rebounds for him. I mean, incredible. Just an absolute dog out there. Let's not forget the 3 steals for him as well. Finally being a defender, finally doing everything. The playoff Randle, he is here, guys. He has been here all playoffs. This isn't the New York Knicks Randle. He's changing the narrative, and he's becoming the Wolves' probably most consistent guy throughout the playoffs. I feel like, is that fair to say that he might be the most consistent playoff performer now, Andrew?
Yeah, I mean, yes, in that consistently he does the things he struggles with consistently, so you can kind of bank on him. He's going to have his turnovers. It's just the nature of Julius Randle. But to your point, I mean, he had the second best defensive rating on the team, which I know some people aren't the biggest fans of defensive ratings, but when there is in a playoff game, when you're the second best rating of anything on a team, it means that you are a driving factor of why that was good. I mean, outside of that, his scoring has been solid. He's kind of taken over when Mike Conley isn't out there. He's kind of taken over as just the hub of the offense, pretty similar to honestly kind of how like Draymond and Jimmy operate, where they drive in, sit in the post and make decisions. He's rebounding better than I've seen him rebound all season. His decision making has been significantly faster than it has been all season. And his scoring, I mean, especially against, you know, you go back to the Lakers series, he was able to kind of score over anyone at ease. And now here in Golden State, he's hunting mismatches. If Pods gets on him, even if Butler gets on him, Gary Payton gets on him, if it is someone that he does not feel is as strong as him, he just drives into the paint and does that weird little restricted area fadeaway or just kind of lays it up over him. And if it's not there, he passes it. He hasn't been forcing anything, which maybe that's the biggest growth sign that he's had is he's just playing within himself.
No, I like that. I think like you said, he's not forcing it. He's letting it come to, he's letting the defense kind of rotate on him or call for the double. And then he kicks it out to Jaden McDaniels tonight. We saw Ant tonight. Nikhil, he's hit it out to Nikhil. just different things like that, exploiting the defense. I think that's why he's been so awesome in the series. It's again why we talked about it on our episode before this game, and it was when I was on here with Tripp and Matt, and we basically said Randall, he when they made the trade, or initially they envisioned this, right? Chris Finch envisioned a playmaking forward who could do it all, right? A point forward kind of player. And that's who they wanted, and that's who they believed they were going to get when they traded for Julius Randle. And all this time when he struggled in the beginning of the year, they truly stuck with it. They believed in it. And then you're seeing it now all come to at the right time. At the right time, Julius Randle's exploding right now, and he's playing incredible basketball. He's a team player. He knows now that he can still get his points. It will come to him eventually, but he just needs to focus, get assists. I thought he had just had an all-around game. He was a superstar performance in my eyes. I think I'm going to give him an A+ in this game. What do you think of Randall?
Just real quick, Tripp. Randall was responsible for 54 points tonight. If you factor in his assists, that's over half of the Wolves' points. And he had 6 of those assists to Anthony Edwards specifically. Just wanted to, again, we got to give him his praises. That's ridiculous to the Batman. That Julius Randle was responsible for half of the points in a playoff game.
That's a great stat. Good God.
I'm going to keep it really brief, boys. He is everything that you could have ever dreamt he would be when you traded Karl-Anthony Towns for him. I'm going to keep it just high level. Let's keep it simple. Julius Randle has exceeded expectations from every perspective.
No, 100%.
There is an apology form going on, going around online. If anyone,
and he deserves it, right? I mean, listen, you know, and credits due. And Andrew, you've kind of you know, hit on this when like Evan has kind of beat at it a bit. You know, Cat, like let's be fair to Cat, right? Like when Evan kind of wanted to be hard on Cat, you were fair to Cat in the sense of like, you know, he's a great player. Let's give Cat his flowers, right? So we'll leave Cat as he is. He's a great player, but like ultimately, Julius Randle is kind of everything you could have ever dreamt he would be lately. And I think, and I mentioned it this morning with Evan earlier on the pod, which was, you know, I think, you know, you just have to throw away that player option and you have to do an extension just like you did with Rudy Gobert. You have to find a number that makes sense for both sides, and let's get Julius Randle on a long-term contract.
Oh yeah, he's earned it, guys. There's not a trade anymore. I don't think it's over. There's no Kevin Durant. There's nobody no more. There's no trade. Like I think Julius Randle's here. He's proven it now. This works, and now he's meshed with the team, and his relationship 100%. With Anthony Edwards is awesome too. It's underrated now. Those two have become close. He's finally accepted Rudy Gobert. Everyone's became one on this team. I mean, they're so close. So I think Jim Peterson said it before. He's been around the league a long time, and he says this team right now might be the most connected group of guys that I've ever been around. And so I think that's so important to point out. And then just his maturity, what he brings, the dog mentality. I think the Wolves, they matchup wise in this, like how they've gone through the playoffs, I think it's just awesome how it's worked out for the Knicks. It's worked out for the Timberwolves. Both teams are getting their own thing, and it's just rare when a trade works out. But it's been awesome to see. It's been great to see. What else did you see in tonight's game, Andrew?
Yeah, I mean, the other thing I was really encouraged by was I felt like in game 1 when the threes weren't falling, they kind of got away from it a little bit. And I know that's if the deep pass isn't going, you go to the run game, right? Like I understand the premise of like attacking the rim, but similar to game 1, the threes they were missing were wide open. It was the Warriors schematically choosing to leave like Nikhil or Dante open. And like, I would rather have Dante shoot 33s in a game than like continue to just bash underneath the basket and hope. And tonight they really didn't go away from the three. They kept their offense. They kept doing the exact same things that were, you know, working, but not capitalizing in the first half. And I mean, the other thing I really enjoyed is they really did make it a point of emphasis to get guys like Jaden involved, guys like Nikhil involved. To Tripp's point, it was like a team basketball game. It wasn't just Julius going for his points. It wasn't just Ant scoring 30. Mike had a really good game. We don't need to touch on it a lot, but Mike is just, it's just bizarre how much he matters to this team at, the level he's at right now, because he's probably not one of the top 10 best players on the team, but team high defensive rating tonight, played great offensively. He's positive in the plus minus. He sets everything up. I wish that like some of his knowledge could bleed into other players, because I think that's a lot of what it is Mike just tells people where to stand and where to get set, and hey, here's the play we're running. But man, it was nice to see him have kind of a bounce back game after he got taken advantage of the first couple games.
There's a lot more we got to get into, boys, but first we're going to go to a quick ad read.
It's playoff time in Minnesota. The energy is electric, the stakes are high, and every move counts. You can feel it, right? The momentum, the nerves, the is this really happening buzz. The spring real estate market in the Twin Cities has the same kind of energy. Headlines are flying out about interest rates, the economy, and what's coming next. It's exciting, yes, but also confusing and a little bit overwhelming. Whether you're thinking about buying, selling, or just wondering if that Zestimate is lying to you, don't overthink it. Go to wolvesrealtor.com and connect with Heather. She's not just a fan in the stands. She's on the court every day with Exit and North Star Realty, reading plays, adjusting the strategy, and helping people make confident moves, not panicked ones. Even if you're just curious or unsure about the next step, wolvesrealtor.com is where you start. No pressure, just real talk, real answers, and a game plan that actually works. Because when it comes to real estate, just like basketball, having the right coach makes all the difference. Go check out wolvesrealtor.com and tell them Matt from the Daily Wolves sent you.
On top of that, guys, I don't know about people watching right now, but your boy, he loves sports betting, guys. And we partnered with Better, the best sports betting app out there, to get you guys out there, get you guys some money in your bank account. You can go onto your iOS Apple Store or go onto your App Store on your Android device and download Better. Type in BETR in the search bar. Enter our promo code, the Daily SPN, when you sign up, and we're hooking you guys up with a $77 first deposit match with Better. On top of that, my favorite thing about Better is that they do injury revives. I don't know many apps that do that. So tonight, if you're betting a parlay, and let's say somebody were to get an injury like Steph Curry got one in game one, it doesn't matter. They revive you. You automatically get that W. It doesn't affect your parlay lineup. I love that, man. That's my favorite thing about Better. Download it today and start sports betting. What about Anthony Edwards, boys? Because this guy looked dead in the water in the beginning of the game. Something seemed up with Ant. He seemed off, seemed weird. I criticized him, ate my own words. Shout out to Ant for reading my Twitter and proving me wrong. Let's go. But honestly, I thought Ant played incredible and he exploded. He brought out the aggression in the second half, ended with 36 points. He just was a dog later. That huge dunk. I mean, good Lord, that dunk was amazing. At this point, I expect a dunk at any time, at any moment. That's why this kid is box office. He's the big ticket, the new heir of the big ticket, like KG. That's why fans love Anthony Edwards, because he does these jaw-dropping plays. He almost had another amazing dunk, guys. How good was Anthony Edwards later in this game, Andrew?
Yeah, 28 points in the second half. I mean, I will say, like, Ant is banged up. Like, objectively speaking, yes, everybody is dealing with something in the playoffs, but Ant had a 230-pound man step on his shin. Like, that hurts. He's been dealing with groin stuff on and off all season. He's been dealing with the hand stuff on and off all season. I guarantee you he is dealing with a lot more than just like minor aches and bruises. But Ant isn't a guy that's ever going to make excuses for himself. He might be irrationally confident at times, but he doesn't make excuses. So it might have just taken him a little while to get, everything moving. Maybe they were able to work on it at halftime and loosen up something that if it was tight. But I mean, 28 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 62% from the field, and 4 of 8 from 3 in the second half. I mean, that's a guy that we've talked about it many times. When Ant decides games are over, he is that good where he can just, even in the playoffs, decide a game is over.
He's so good.
The other thing I would just say is, like,
15 in the third too. I got to say that before you keep going, 15 points in the third quarter too. Keep going.
15 in the third, 13 in the fourth. Like, he didn't drop off. I think he also played. Yeah, he played every minute in the second half. So 24 minutes, not even a second of rest on bum hip, bum groin, bum shin. Like, the guy is different. The other thing I just say is like, this is also against a Warriors team that is good. Like Jimmy Butler is an all-star caliber player. He drug the corpse of a Heat team to the finals. He has drug Heat teams to the playoffs and won rounds, most notably against Boston a few years ago, upsetting them a few games. Draymond is a Hall of Fame level basketball player. He is really good. Yes, he drives people nuts, but he's a really good player. Gary Payton too is awesome. Great defender, good knockdown shooter. Podziemski isn't, I mean, he isn't a bad player. And Kuminga's been awesome for them. So this isn't, well, yes, this is a Warriors team without Steph Curry, and the Wolves should be able to handle this pretty handily without, you know, them having Steph. This is still a capable NBA team, which I think that was demonstrated a lot in the first half and even the first 3 quarters until the Wolves just kind of took it over, that this is a team that if they make you play in the mud, they're gonna wear you down. Again, it's just Ant and Julius in that second half went off. Jaden also should get some flowers, 12 points in the second half, team high plus 12 in the plus minus. Like,
yep.
That's their big 3 is Ant, Jaden, and Randall, as weird as that is to say.
We talked about it earlier too. Jonathan Kuminga tonight, or Trip, when we talked about who was going to explode tonight, we literally brought it up earlier with you, me and Matt. 30 points for Kuminga. He was a problem. 6 rebounds. Dude was a dog for the Warriors tonight. So let's not forget, Kuminga gives the Wolves fits. He's like their Julius Randle up against us. I mean, he was going at him, and him and Jimmy, you know, combined had 63 points of the 97 for the Warriors tonight. So, but I thought, you know, the Wolves, again, they wore them down. They did all those other things. We do need some other players to step up as well, Andrew. And looks like Tripp's bouncing out, but that's trying to figure out some technical difficulties there. But what about Nickeil Alexander-Walker and Dante in today's game, Andrew? Because they've been struggling. They continue to struggle. I thought Nickeil had some defensive moments tonight that were all right, but Dante just looks I mean, he was in foul trouble early, never recovered from it, and then he just all out of sorts, man, for Dante. What's going on with him?
You know, I think I'll be honest. And this is contrary to everything Nickeil has said. Like Nickeil, when we ask him about his shooting slump, he says, you know, I know it's going to turn back to the law of averages. He usually quotes like a very powerful book or Bible verse and then says, I hope it goes back to the law of averages soon. But Nickeil has very high standards for himself, and you can just tell offensively. I don't think he's hesitating. I think he's frustrated. I think he just needs, I mean, I thought game 2 would be the game that kind of knocks him out of that slump, but he kind of looked the same tonight, where it was just, you could tell he was annoyed that he wasn't making shots. Dante, I mean, unfortunately, Dante, I think, is just in a slump. He only shot 3 times this game, was 0 for 2 from 3.
Yep.
You know, I kind of mentioned before the series, I could see this being a series Dante struggles in, just because he's a hustle player, and against the Warriors, hustle players usually get picked on. Jimmy knows how to get people off his feet. Steph knows how to get people off his feet. Draymond knows how to get people's arms in places. And I think Dante's been a little more playing out of his comfort zone and not getting a rhythm. The other thing with tonight is just shooters need to find a rhythm. And if Dante is only getting 3 looks, that's tough. If Na is only getting Na only got 4 looks, I mean, it's tough to get in a rhythm. But also, that's their role in these series. They got to come off the bench and play efficient basketball.
100%, dude. 100%. I think I thought, speaking of guys who they defended well for most of the game too, keeping Buddy Hield under control was important for them as well. 14 points for Hield tonight. If he explodes, obviously later in the game, towards the fourth quarter, Hield was making some great plays. But other than that, if he doesn't do that, I mean, Hield's box score is horrendous tonight. I mean, I thought Minnesota played it really well. You kept him under control. And I think that was a big reason why Minnesota won. I thought Naz Reid, too, in the times Minnesota was struggling, Naz Reid was huge, keeping Minnesota or giving him that lead earlier before they blew it and stuff when Naz Reid got foul trouble. But, like, that was so important too. Naz Reid's been awesome in this series so far. I think you're going to continue to see it. Again, the foul trouble for Gobert, Dante, Naz Reid all in the first half. That's kind of what, to me, in a way, made Golden State hang around longer, I felt like. But it was also so weird tonight that all series so far in the obviously it's been first 2 games, but I mean, you could say the whole playoffs so far, guys, the referees have held their whistle. And tonight I felt like they were blowing their whistle way more. There was flops. Brandon Pajensky flopped right around Randall. I mean, there was numerous calls. I mean, we had to use a challenge to overturn stuff or to get things. I mean, it just seemed like there was a lot more foul calls than usual. Is there anything else you guys got to get off your tongue before we wrap the live up tonight?
47 fouls. That's a foul every minute and 8 seconds. So again, going back to, if you're a shooter, how do you get open shots if you're a shooter? It's playing in transition. It's running an offense. It's getting sets, like multiple sets over and over so that you can get to your spots. And if there is a whistle every 3 possessions, I mean, not even just 3 Wolves possessions. It's, I mean, that statistically is a whistle every 3 shot clocks. That's wild. And, you know, you can blame it on Scott Foster. You can blame it on the referees. I feel like to Evan, to your point, they went from calling the series one way, and tonight they just called it like a regular season basketball game. And all of a sudden, all of these things that were getting let go in the first and second were getting called. Maybe, if I'm being a conspiracy theorist, they saw Draymond getting riled up. You know, fans got kicked out at the Target Center for yelling at him while he was on his bike. And you know, you got Jaden, Naz, and Dante on the other side who aren't going to be afraid to get into scuffles. Maybe the NBA said, hey, you guys got to reel this series back in so that there's not a fist fight. But again, that's what I would just leave it on, is the Wolves won it. They got the job done. A lot of things went right. 47 fouls is ridiculous. And to the Wolves' credit, they can play a lot better. Like this, I don't think they're going to get a happy Chris Finch in the locker room afterwards.
No, I would agree with that assessment, Andrew. The Wolves didn't necessarily play all that well, but they got the job done. And to your point, the fouls are out of control. Like, regardless, we won the game. I would say the same even if we lost the game. Let them play. Let them play, right? You know, and Brian Windhorst, Evan, you posted about it, but like, he had mentioned like Draymond kind of gets away with murder in a sense. Like, let them play or don't, right? I mean, I could beat the dead horse, but
no, I get you.
Let him play.
And Draymond fouled out tonight because of it. So I don't know. It's just one of those things. Like I don't know if it's like if it kind of helped Minnesota then in the long run, but it was.
I don't think so.
And it
doesn't feel like it.
No, it just. I mean, they didn't really, and it was both teams. That's the thing. This was, if you're a Warriors fan and you're watching or you're tuning in or you're looking at tomorrow's whatever. If you're looking at anything, you're pissed because the refereeing, you feel like it was called every second. Vice versa, if it's Minnesota. I mean, just think, we won tonight and it still feels ridiculous. It just feels like you said, Andrew, it was a completely 360 of how they called the other games. And that's hard on the players too. I mean, what are the players supposed to do? What are the coaches like? How do you make adjustments? You don't even know how to coach or game plan against this. The players have no idea what they're going in for. Now they're going into another game, a critical game for Golden State in the Bay, and nobody knows what's going on. Draymond's frustrated. You can see it built up. He was trying to control himself on the sideline, but you can see it. He fouled out. He was frustrated. And then in this game, obviously, all the different players that were all in foul trouble. So I don't know. I'll be curious to see. Before we get out of here, guys, the last thing we're going to say is we are partnered with SeatGeek as well. I know the playoffs, when they come back to Minnesota, it's going to be loud in Target Center. You might want to get tickets. SeatGeek is your #1 spot to go. And if you use promo code TheDailyWolves on SeatGeek, we're hooking you guys up with $20 off your next order on SeatGeek. Download it today and start getting tickets into your favorite events. It's been great having you on, Triv. Great having you on, Andrew. We had over 2,500 people in here on the live tuning in to your Minnesota Timberwolves huge Game 3 win. Until next time, guys, as always, go Wolves.
Go Wolves.